Hey guys, this is Jay from J02 Reviews. In this video, I will be reviewing a game called Link's Awakening. It's for the Nintendo Switch system, and it retailed for $60, and it was made by the Nintendo. It's a remaster of an old game on the GBA, and Link's Awakening has always been, in a way, a weird game to me. The concept was a little weird on how Link gets his ship wrecked, and then he finds out that he's in this world where things may not be how they seem, and spoilers for right now, so just skip a little bit if you don't want to hear those. The way that it made the windfish being his only way of going home, and how the island was really fake in the end. It was very cool to see how it developed. Each boss tells you a bit about this. It gives you clues into that the world is fake, and I do like this about the game. And another thing, the bosses are amazing. It's the same old bosses you get in any 2D Zelda. Not all the same, but in a way of them being unique in their fighting style. I believe the skeleton, you had to use bombs to beat it, and there's a bug one, you had to go jump and then hit it from behind. Always a fun thing to see 2D Zelda bosses in unique ways and attacking in unique ways. And this is something I like about how the game, in a way, sort of gives that, it tells you it's a remaster based on what these bosses looked like in their GBA form and then how they look like now. And Dampé, he's a character you meet along the way. He's sort of like an extra little thing to add. So then it's like a remaster with some. So like Zelda Link's Awakening Deluxe, he just gives you the option to make your own dungeons, and that is something that is very cool about this game. You're able to make your own dungeons depending on what you've beaten in the game, and this is something that you could have a little bit of fun with. I don't really like being in a way creating my own dungeons. I would rather them be laid out for me. But it's great to see your dungeons being made, and if you have the amiibo for Link in this game, you could save your dungeon on it, and then I don't know, if you see someone like a friend or something, who has a Switch, you could put your amiibo on it, and they'll have your dungeon to play through. So it's just a fun little creative aspect of the game. I like how you can shop for items, just like in Link Between Worlds, where you were able to buy different items or rent them depending on what you chose. And also, in this game, I'm apparently a thief because I did a glitch or something, and there's a glitch I saw it online where you could run around. You might want to use this. You run around the storekeeper owner a couple of times with an item in your hand that you want. And once you run around a couple of times, you could go out of the store without paying for it. And then if you go later, the shop owner will be there, and he'll just basically zap you with lightning. It's a weird aspect, but it's kind of like a price to pay for stealing. But it is good that you are able to have all these items at your disposal, and how they improved upon using these items, which I will talk about right now. The way you use these items in the game is you equip them from your menu, and they very much improved on the gameplay. So in the old GBA game, you could only have your shield would be like an item, so you had to choose it, but you can only have 2 items. So there is an item to jump, but you couldn't use that item unless it was on your out of those 2 items, unless you were using it. And your shield was also an item, and your shield could be very valuable, especially in boss fights. But if you needed another item to beat a boss, you couldn't jump because you couldn't use both of them. So you couldn't use your shield without you couldn't use your shield and another item without it being without you not being able to have your jump ability. And this is a much improvement on the gameplay in that aspect, because now the shield is into one button. I believe it's ZR, so you could use it against enemies, and you won't have to switch any items in your inventory to use your shield and to jump at the same time. And I also like how this game is art styled. I know some people don't like it, but it is very good for the game because it is like a top-down Zelda. I might not really be into the toy aspect of it because they do look a little bit like toys, but it still looks like a somewhat clean type of look. And now let's go on to my one complaint about the game, but it's not a deal breaker. In this game, the frame rate, and if you don't know what frame rate is, it's just like in a way how it looks. You can make it look clear or not. The frame rate goes out of sorts in different areas. It like focuses so much on. It like becomes very blurry. It can mess with your eyes a bit. I know it did with me because it just kept dropping, and then I sometimes like lost track of like how it was moving. It was a little weird to see it. It only happens in like parts where like there's like a grass area, or around like grass or forest areas. That's mostly where it happens. That's where at least I got my most experience of frame rate drops. But it's not a deal breaker. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. So if you think that's a deal breaker for you, then don't get the game. But it is not a deal breaker since you get this amazing story, and meet these amazing characters, and fight these amazing bosses in this game. So, I mean, I would recommend this game if you were someone who loves Zelda and you love all things Zelda and you want to play like all the Zelda games, and especially play the old ones because they might not be of much access to people now as they were back then. So I would recommend this game. If you're someone who doesn't know anything about Zelda, I feel like this game might be a little bit of a not good way to start out with a Zelda franchise. I think you should start out with a game like Breath of the Wild or Link Between Worlds. Those are good games that came out, or Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. Those are much better games that were more of a like it defined what Zelda is and what it could be. So at least for me, that's how I see those titles. So it is. I do recommend this game to people who love Zelda. If you don't, you might want to play Breath of the Wild first, and I already have a video about that, so you should check it out. And with that, guys, this is the end of my review. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to J02 Reviews, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.